Hello and welcome to Slow Bedtime Flows. My name is Leah Sugarman. Tonight's practice is intended to jumpstart your week and utilize all of the good energy that you get from the beginning of the week. So it'll be a very slow, feel-good practice, gently opening the body into soft stretches. So for this practice, you may wish to have 2 blocks or a good substitute for them, like a big, thick book, but they're not essential, so it's up to you. So if you'd like them, grab them, and then we'll come to find a comfortable seated position. You're more than welcome to elevate your hips sitting onto a block or a pillow if you'd like, and then take a moment to close your eyes. Soften the weight of your hips toward the floor, and lengthen the crown of your head toward the sky. Create length in your whole back body, and melt your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a moment to tune into how you feel right now, the beginning of your week and the beginning of your practice. And just take some time to think about how you would like this week to go. Maybe you have a big event coming up or some sort of important date. Just give yourself a moment now to manifest however you would like this week to unfold. And then once you feel like you've connected with this, start to connect with your breath. Find a nice slow and steady pace, and strive to keep this pace consistent throughout your whole practice today. When you feel connected to this, flutter your eyes open and release your fingertips to either a block or the floor beside your right hip, and stretch your left arm straight up toward the sky. Create length through your whole left side body as you inhale, and exhale, gently lean and side bend towards your right. Elongate from your left hip all the way up through your left fingertips, and ever so slightly spiral and rotate your heart to face toward the ceiling. On your next inhale, gently press the floor away, draw yourself back up to sit, and release your left fingertips to a prop or to the floor beside your left hip, and reach your right arm to the sky. Again, inhale to create length through your whole side body, and exhale, gently lean and hinge towards your left. Root your right sit bones down into the earth and elongate your right fingertips away from that. And then ever so slightly peel and rotate your heart toward the ceiling. On an inhale, gently press the floor away, draw yourself back up to neutral, and this time take your right fingertips behind your right hip and your left hand to your right knee. Inhale, grow tall through your spine, and exhale, spiral and twist over your right shoulder. With each breath in, grow a little bit taller, and with each breath out, spiral and twist a little bit deeper. Slowly unwind your twist and go straight to the opposite side. Take your left fingertips behind your hip and your right hand to your left knee. Inhale, elongate your back, and exhale, twist to rotate. Again, with every breath, Elongate your spine and spiral from deep inside your belly. On your next inhale, slowly unwind your twist. Remove any props that you might be sitting on and cross your ankles to roll forward onto all fours. Come into a neutral tabletop position. So align your shoulders roughly over your wrists and align your hips roughly over your knees. Elongate your whole back body, stretch your tailbone behind you, and reach the crown of your head forward. And on an inhale, soften and release your belly toward the floor. Draw the tips of your shoulder blades toward each other. Peel open your chest and lift your gaze toward the sky. As you exhale, reverse this action. Press firmly into your palms. Round your whole back body. Draw your navel towards your spine and draw your shoulder blades apart from each other. Inhale again, soften your belly toward the floor. Peel open through your chest, expand and open your heart, and lift your gaze. Exhale, round your whole spine. Press the mat firmly away from you and draw your belly button in towards your back body. Maybe even look toward it. Continue flowing between these two movements, following your own rhythm of breath. As you inhale, expand and open your chest. And as you exhale, round your whole back body. With every inhale, energetically draw your hands and your knees toward each other. And with every exhale, energetically draw your hands and your knees apart from each other to accentuate this curvature through your spine. Take one more breath in each direction. And on your next inhale, find your way into a neutral back body. Create length through your spine. Hug in around your belly, three-dimensionally corset your whole waistline. And then turn to look over your right shoulder. Draw your right shoulder towards your right hip and your right hip towards your right shoulder to create a C curve with your spine. And then inhale, draw yourself back to neutral. Exhale, turn toward the left, draw shoulder to hip and hip to shoulder. And inhale, draw yourself back to neutral. Continue flowing between these two sides, turning over the right and then the left. Follow your own rhythm of breath. Let it guide your movements. Again, take one more breath in each direction, gently laterally flexing your spine, creating this simple side body action. And then when you're ready, draw yourself back to neutral. Again, create length in your whole back body. Stretch the crown of your head forward and reach your tailbone behind you. And this time, inhale, stretch and extend your right leg straight back behind you, roughly at the height of your hip. Send energy out through your right toes. Draw your belly in toward your spine. And then open your hip. Turn your toes to face toward the right side of your mat. Stack your right hip over your left. And release your right foot behind your left. Ground down into the pinky side of your foot so your whole foot becomes grounded against the floor. And root down into your left hand. You're more than welcome to stay here, or if it feels appropriate, you can rise up to your right fingertips, or maybe even press the floor away and send your right arm straight up to the sky in a modified side plank. Actively press down against the floor and lift your hips high up away from the mat. Ever so slightly peel and rotate your heart to face toward the long edge of your mat. Draw a full breath in. And as you exhale, slowly unwind your twist. Return your right hand back down to the floor and release your right knee back down to the floor. Come back into a tabletop and gently sway your hips from side to side. When you're ready, draw yourself back into neutral. Find length in your whole spine. Draw in around your belly, three-dimensionally corset your whole waistline and hug your navel in toward your back body. Inhale, reach your left leg back behind you this time and energetically kick back through your foot. Lift the leg roughly to the height of your hips, press evenly into both hands, and then open your hip, turn your toes to face toward the left side of your mat this time. Stack your left hip over your right and very gently release your left foot to the floor behind your right foot. Root into the pinky side of your foot, ground your whole foot onto the floor, and actively press down against your right hand. Either choose to stay just like this, or maybe rise to your left fingertips, or maybe stabilize your balance as you press the mat away from you and peel and rotate your left arm straight to the sky. Press firmly into everything that has contact with the mat so that you can lift your hips up away from the floor. Root down strongly into your bottom hand. Ever so slightly rotate your heart open. Take a full breath in. And exhale, slowly unwind. Release your left hand back down to the floor. Release your left knee to the floor and return to a neutral tabletop. Maybe sway your hips gently from side to side once again to release. On your next inhale, walk your hands forward roughly 1 palm's distance. Spread your fingers wide and evenly spaced between them and root down into the corners of your palms. Gently grip at the mat with your fingertips. And then tuck all 10 toes underneath, draw your belly in firmly, and press the floor away to lift your hips up high to the sky in a downward facing dog. Now you're welcome to keep your knees bent as little or as much as you'd like, and maybe gently pedal out your feet by bending one knee at a time, and then extending through the opposite leg. Actively press into your palms. Lift up out of your shoulders and use this as a catalyst to send energy all the way up your whole spine to lift your sit bones a little bit higher. When you're ready, draw yourself into a place of neutral, a place of stillness. So again, you're more than welcome to have your knees bent. Focus on creating length in your spine. On your next inhale, look forward between your hands and take a big step to place your right foot next to your right thumb. If it doesn't make it all the way up there, you can literally pick it up and place it there. And then soften and release your back knee toward the floor. Rise up either onto your fingertips or maybe place your hands onto blocks and create length through your whole back body. Sink the weight of your hips down toward the floor. Soften and relax the weight of your lower body, but counter this by creating space and length in your upper body. Draw in firmly around your belly and let this send more energy up your whole spine to stretch the crown of your head further toward the sky. Energetically, scissor your legs toward each other, squeeze them in toward the midline, both front to back and side to side. Take a full breath in here, and as you exhale, send the weight of your hips back in space until they align roughly over your left knee. Walk your hands or your blocks in closer towards your body and flex your right ankle. You're more than welcome to keep your right knee bent as little or as much as you'd like, or if it feels appropriate, you can slide your right heel forward in space and root your right heel firmly into the floor. Energetically slide your heel toward the back of the mat and squeeze both legs toward each other. Elongate and lengthen your spine. And you have the option to stay here or keep this length as you gently hinge from your hips and dive forward over your front leg. With each breath in, grow a little bit longer through your spine. And with each breath out, perhaps hinge and fold a little bit deeper from your hips. Keep this strong activation in your right leg. Root your heel firmly into the floor and energetically slide your heel toward the back of your mat. On your next inhale, slowly lift your torso if you've lowered it. Bend deeply into your front knee and plant your palms to frame out your front foot. Tuck your back toes underneath, draw your belly in, and shift your hips back up high into downward facing dog. Create length through your whole spine. Press your fingertips forward in space and send your sit bones toward the ceiling. And then look forward between your hands and take a big step to place your left foot next to your left thumb. Again, if it doesn't make it all the way there, you can pick it up and place it there. Softly release your back knee to the floor and rise up either onto blocks or to your fingertips. Sink the weight of your hips forward and down. Relax their weight fully toward the floor. And then counter this by growing taller through your whole spine. Imagine that you're tightening a corset around your whole waistline and three-dimensionally hug in into the midline. Elongate your back body once again and sink the weight of your hips further down, and then energetically draw your front heel and your back knee toward each other. Let this create a catalyst of energy all the way up your whole back body. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, shift the weight of your hips back to align roughly over your right knee. Walk your hands or your props closer towards your body and flex your left ankle. Again, you have the option to keep your knee bent deeply or maybe slide your heel forward in space, working to straighten your leg. Activate this foot immediately. Press your heel firmly into the floor and energetically slide your heel toward the back of your mat. Use the same amount of energy to send your back knee forward in space so that they hug in toward each other. Elongate and lengthen your whole back body. And you have the option to stay as you are or keep this length that you just created and maybe gently hinge from your hips to fold forward over your front leg. With each breath in, grow taller through your spine. Send your sit bones back behind you and send the crown of your head forward. With each breath out, maybe hinge and fold slightly deeper. Keep this strong activation in your front leg and the magnetic pull of your legs toward each other. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, bend deeply into your front knee. Plant your palms down to frame out your front foot. Tuck your back toes underneath and send your hips high back into downward facing dog. Create length through your whole spine. Press your fingertips forward in space. Send your sit bones high to the sky. Stabilize your breath. Maybe pause for a moment here to close your eyes and breathe into all the sensations that arise here. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, soften and release your knees toward the floor. Sink the weight of your hips back towards your heels and surrender into child's pose. You're welcome to have your knees together or apart. You can stretch your arms forward or release them back behind you. Find a position that allows you to soften as you round your whole spine. Again, tune back in with your breath and observe its gentle rhythm. Come back to that manifestation that you created for your week. And simply remind yourself how you would like your week to go. On your next inhale, slowly round up through your whole spine and rise back up to a seat. Send your hips over to one side and stretch your legs forward in front of you to come lie down on your back. From here, give yourself a big hug. Draw your knees in toward your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins and maybe add a gentle sway of your hips to massage your lower back. Keep holding onto your right knee and release your left leg out long. And gently hug your right knee in towards you. Completely relax your left leg. Let it fall limp on the floor. Gently switch sides, stretch your right leg out long, and draw your left knee in towards your chest, creating some gentle compression in your hip. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, release your left leg out long forward in front of you. Let your feet be roughly as wide as your mat, and release your arms by your sides with your palms facing up as a gesture of surrender. Close your eyes and soften your weight toward the floor. Allow your whole body to surrender and release. Come back to that manifestation that you created for your week ahead. And remind yourself that you have the power to determine how your week unfolds. Now, if you'd like to stay here longer, you're of course welcome to stay and relax in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. But if you're ready to move on with your evening, get ready for bed. And you can slowly start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe gently turn your head from side to side. Draw your knees toward your chest. Give yourself a big hug once again. And slowly roll onto one side. Press the floor away from you so you can rise back up into a seat. And find any comfortable position. Close your eyes for a moment. And returning back to this same place where you began your practice, just notice any changes that your practice might have created. Either in your body, or your breath, or your mind. Draw your palms to meet at your heart and gently bow your head in towards yourself. Looking forward to a beautiful week ahead. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Have a beautiful night. Namaste.